Node 3666887 connected to node 564562.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave,
KD7ZY. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur.
In the DATV format. We
transmit it on 70 centimeters to Cougar
to a crossband
repeat.
Spits out images at
1.2 gigahertz.
Find out more about
our group, please Google
W7 ATS. That will take you to our
that will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies that we receive and transmit on. Also, you'll stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for this particular
Western Washington Amateur Television
Television Society Net, Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway.
Welcome back. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the Wave Machine. And acknowledges that Ron, KD7QKU, is checked in. Bob, K9PQ. Jim, N7QO, is checked in. James, WU7N, is checked in. And Carlos,
AD7NP, has checked in. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else that wishes to check in?
Thanks for that. Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU. WU7N.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. Nice to see everybody. Nice to see Richard and Carlos. Hadn't seen Carlos for a while. I was getting terrible feedback on Dave. It sounded like somebody had a mic open or something, so it was hard to understand. I hope, can you guys hear me? Are you hearing me? Okay, you're hearing me, all right, because I'm not using 2 meters. Well, let's see, I've had kind of a busy week. My brother-in-law, you know, is as old as I am, and he's rented this place for about 40 years, and he had a cabinet shop, and he's trying to get out of it, or get rid of it. He is getting out of it, he's just getting rid of what's left, and so all these tools are pretty much gone now. So about the only thing left was plywood. There was a wood stove in the corner, and for years he burned all these scraps, but it wasn't an authorized wood stove, so he stopped using it. I don't know how many years ago, but quite a while. There was tons of scrapped wood. Oh, my camera quit, hang on. I don't know why my camera does that, but every now and then it wants to update, and I don't know how it can update, where from, but anyway. So anyway, I've been using a skill saw, and he has a small table saw left, and he's been ripping stuff up, and then I've been cutting it up in pieces so he can burn it. So right now I have probably 2/3 of the back of my pickup full of cut up wood pieces, and he has his van with a lot of it in his van, and I guess the next project is to get it all unloaded at his house and stack someplace. He used to burn you know, wood that was, you know, from trees, so he has some covered area to store wood in. And then after we get that done, I think the next thing I would like to do is fill his van full and go to the dump and get rid of a lot of stuff. We can kind of see the end in sight, but there's still a lot of cleanup and a lot of stuff to get rid of. He has this one big base. It's heavy. I don't know. he and I can't lift it, so I think I'm going to have to take my acetylene torch out there and cut it up in pieces so we can move it. I don't know if it's cast iron or if it's steel. I haven't really looked at it very close, but we got to get rid of it, whatever it is. And we can't get it in his van to take it to a dump. It's too heavy. So anyway, so that's what I've been doing, and I think there's another week's work out there. So anyway, I been recovering. KD7QKU.
Seven QKU, thanks for that. And again, this is Dave, 87CYM. So let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Let me switch over here from me to, whoops, sorry, headphones. These are pictures from 9 years ago, 4th of July. I figured since we're pretty close to 4th of July, this would be a good time to show them. There's some pretty good pictures in there. I didn't do a lot of editing, so there's some just kind of so-so pictures in there. But anyway, there you go. You got it going in the background. A couple of items of business. I just sent out an email an hour or two ago. We will have it on the 5th, and I'm hoping we get a really good turnout. The other item is WARA. They had a couple of issues with with our data sheet that we had to provide for them. They were minor. One was that they said our power changed, and another which it did from 15 years ago or whatever was the last time we put a data sheet to them. So it has changed since then. We just never updated it before. So, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be a problem. And then even more minor, they wanted all Latin long in decimal only, degrees decimal only, and I copied over the degrees, minutes, seconds from the old one. So I replied, and I think we'll be fine, but just I'd let you guys know. What else is going on? Well, I had another showing on Friday, but the response was at least we get a response, so that's nice. It's not just we just don't. It's not like we don't hear anything, but the response was it just didn't feel like home to them. So it's clearly a buyer's market right now, very much so, in a very very slow market. It appears I'm going to be renting my place out, which is fine. I just need to do some things to prep for that, but that's what it looks like is going to happen until, and then I'll just be watching how the home prices are, and when they go up enough that it's worth selling, I'll sell. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7IGX. Okay, let me just monkey around with a couple things here, and let's see, bring up, did I comment? Okay, yeah. So anyway, I see everybody on Discord now. I was monkeying around looking at streaming. That's the only way I can hear Bob is by getting on the internet and to our website and watch our low latency stream. And I can hear and see Bob as clear as a bell. And sorry that you're having so much trouble well, I don't know if it's trouble, but I'm sorry the market's slow for you right now. Because I do see property selling, at least around in my neighborhood anyway. But it's two different markets too. I'm down south and you're way up north. And, I think our prices are generally lower down here than maybe up north. I guess. But then houses versus condos, two different markets, and that's a whole other story as well. So it started out really kind of cold and, chilly this morning and turned into a hot afternoon. I ended up going out to Pacific Raceway for the first time in over a year. And, man, it was it took me a long time to get used to it. There's a lot of sadness for me to go there with the loss of one of my very best friends who, him and his son, have a racing consortium, so to speak. And so what was it? I guess it was Thursday night. The son of Pop, or Beth, who passed away a couple months ago, gave me a call and told me what his plans are. He wouldn't have his car this weekend at Pacific Raceway, but he would have a car at Pacific Raceway on the 4th of July. And so I'll be looking forward to crewing for his team on next weekend. But some other friends out there racing this weekend, and I'll be darned if Josh wasn't there, and if Josh did. One, two, three, four. I got that on my place to talk. Anyway, Josh was there, to my surprise, and he ended up at the invitation of one of his buddies to race one of the cars. And so that was just a good feeling. It took me a while to get my nerves to go over and start chatting with everybody. It just didn't feel quite right. I had butterflies in my stomach, and plus I can't walk very good. Here I am, a year later, and I'm using a cane or a walker, and I'm just not the same old K7 ITX that he used to be. And so it's going to be a year or two before I can just walk like the normal bird. But I got to get started, and today was like breaking ice. So that's what I did. And I'm going back tomorrow morning, a lot earlier than I did today, and I'm going to go a lot more with my pride, and I'm going to dig in and see what I can do to help and have some fun. So that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. K7 ITX, that's Net Control. K7 ITX, thanks for that. Well, let's go visit Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, I don't know who all's listening on the 08 machine, but to me, The '08 machine is weak tonight, and it's dropping some of the time. So if no one's listening to it, if you have the ability, see if you get the same thing that I've got, or if I have a problem here at my shack. So far I'm receiving everyone on the '08 machine, although intermittently, but the television repeater is working well. I'm hearing everyone there. I see pictures from everyone except, of course, Nick and me. Let's see, just before the net, the television repeater was a little bit intermittent, but as soon as the net began, the television repeater is working very well. And let's see. Ron, if you get desperate, with taking apart that item, there are junk dealers that you can call who will gladly pick the stuff up for a nominal fee, but sometimes it may be worth it. I remember when you were telling us about moving a piano, and yeah, it sounded like they wanted more to move the thing than the piano was worth. But there are alternatives to getting rid of junk. Bob, man, your house just doesn't feel like home. Yeah, sorry, guy, it is a buyer's market. Sometimes people are looking for something, they're not really sure what they're looking for, and you don't know exactly what it is. It may be the location, it may be the proximity of neighbors or something. You just don't know what the real reason is. And maybe some of the time the buyers don't actually know what the real reason is either. It's just sort of a feeling. Good to hear from you. Pacific Raceway, that's great. Yeah. Somehow things change, and things will never exactly be like the way they were. Sometimes that's good. I'm finding myself more often than not, it's not good. But hang in there. You're getting around. You're making progress, and it sounds to me like you're getting better, at least a little bit, going out to the raceway. So that's good. Good to hear that. Back to you, Dave. And and Dave, next time it's your turn, give us an update on Don, if you would, please. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO. 7N.
N7QO, thanks for that. Well, let's go visit James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Dave, I wasn't sure if you could hear me or not. Jim, the '08 machine is coming through just fine, normal. There's nothing unusual that I can hear. What I'm seeing is on the low latency stream, once again, anyone out there listening, I tried Firefox again to see if I could get that to work. It does not work on the Firefox browser. I'm on the Chrome browser now. What I'm seeing is all kinds of RF activity just splattered all over that spectrum that we monitor on 70 centimeters. Could be field day activity. I don't know what it is. If anybody notices that too and has comments on it, I'm kind of curious to know what's going on there. The YouTube, of course, on the QSL site, QSL.net site, it's still got something from May on there. So anybody watching, that's not what we're doing tonight. There's two screens. If you go to QSL.net and look up the Western Washington Amateur Television Society the top one is the one you want, and you also have to unmute it in order to hear it. Skill saws and torches. Wow, be careful out there. This sounds like a major project out there. I'm in favor of the junk dealer. Come and get it, and it's yours. Let's see. And Bob, you had a showing on Friday. That's fantastic. Sounds like you're going to be renting, so that'll be a good income stream for you there. Hope that works out well. And Richard, wow, it does sound like it's tough to go back to the old haunts, especially with sounds like some memories of loss there. I read something great the other day that nobody steps into the river the same way twice, because the river's different, the water's moved on by, and you're not the same person as you were the first time you stepped into the river. There's kind of a philosophy there that I guess we all have to accept whether we want to or not. So take it slowly and keep going. Hang in there. It'll come back. Let's see, I'm still kind of recovering a little bit from my trip last week. All I have right now, I guess I could get OBS up on my phone, but what I've got right now is 2 meters. I need to fix the computer and get it back in service again, and then I can kind of join the fray. So right now I'm audio only. Maybe next time around I'll get OBS up. This is James, WU7N. Back to you, Dave.
WU7N, thanks for joining the net. And we'll get a quick ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, next up is Carlos, 87 NP in Clyde Hill. KD7NP, thanks. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. I've got 68 degrees and it's sunny outside. And let's see, so far this week, I had a conversation with my brother. Unfortunately, I had an AMR ride to the University Hospital. He had an attack of retaining too much fluids and passed out 2 days ago, and it was incapacitated, and so called 911, and an 8-car came, and they forwarded him over to an AMR unit to transport him to the hospital. As of today, he seemed to be up and getting pretty well, and a lot of the fluids have dissipated out of his body, so he was thankful for that, and he's up and walking a little bit, even though it's on a walker, but he was happy to do that. So that's about what's happening here, and then I had checking out, filling up another Apple box to take off to Goodwill. So anyway, that's progressing again, some more stuff out, and doing domestic chores. So this is Dave, KD7CYM at Lake City, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU. D7QKU. Transmitter, and no picture showed up, so I don't know what's going on. I was stuck on there, it seemed like last time for a while. I'll turn it back on again. So I guess I can't get a picture in. Everything looks good. Well, anyway, alright, no big deal. I don't have much to say or show anyway. Well, I'm sorry to hear that Dawn isn't doing well again. That's too bad. But maybe they'll get it straightened out. Yeah, Richard, it was really good to hear that you got together with the guys with the race cars again. That's good. Give you a good outlook on life. Get out and do a few things. Bob, the house next door sold. It closes on July 15th. I don't know when it sold. It must have sold a week or two ago. They were slow in putting up the sold sign. Then when we saw a sold sign, and Joanne texted the owner down in Oregon, and she said, yes, it is sold. But I don't know for how much, and I don't know how many times they reduced the price. I think they reduced the price twice. So I don't know what they got for it. Let's see, what else? Not much else. Geez, I was listening, but my memory is short anymore, so I don't remember what I listened to. I went back to my memory notes. It was good to hear from Carlos. It sounds like, I think you said you're in Wilsonville. You had a horse event, so that's good. Nice one there. I guess it'll, thank you very much for getting to review the computer and getaway program. It seems like we've had a bit of trouble this time. Like I say, I'll try to get a picture in again. I have green lights on everything. Looks like something comes up when my camera's on. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, James, I sent you a couple texts. I thought you weren't with us tonight, but I forgot your computer wasn't working. And then when I realized that, I turned up the 2 meter, and lo and behold, there you were. So all right, back to net, KD7QKU. 7QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's go.
we got cut off right at the end, but I'm guessing you sent it to me. Oops, darn it, I forget every time to take the headphones off. So let's see. Yeah, Ron, good for you helping your brother-in-law clear out the wood shop and man, deal with that heavy iron base. That is a lot of work, and that's pretty dedicated to help him out doing that. Richard, I'm really happy to hear you got down to Pacific Raceway. And just great to get back with the guys again, I'm sure. And as for having a little difficulty walking around, I mean, in car terms, you had a major overhaul. They replaced the carburetor and the oil filter, and so you're still having having to get everything adjusted and back to normal. So um, let's see what else. I think Ron, I did not see your picture come over streaming, but I could see that you were transmitting. And it might be the interference that someone mentioned. I might have been James. I forget who mentioned it. Due to field day, you might want to try the other channel. You might have better luck with the other channel. Yeah, Carlos, thanks for the information on the spectralizer for OBS. Unfortunately, I didn't hear any of your transmission at all. I've heard everyone else come through. Sometimes, mostly it's been from the 2 meter, coming through. But I hear Ron fine when he's transmitting. Or the first time I did, when he transmitted successfully, I heard everything. I heard him clearly, and so I don't know why I didn't hear you on the streaming. Yeah, Dave, I'm real sorry to hear about Don dealing with more issues there. I just hope that gets cleared up here soon. All right, I think that's it for me for now. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, 8:35. I'll probably have another go. All right, send it back. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Well, let's go visit Richard, K7IKX. Okay, well, I'm back. K7IKX, Richard in Kent, Washington. Beautiful panoramic view of Mount Rainier out the ham shack window right now as the sun is getting ready to set. We get to see some purples and blues and reds on the glacier snowfields. I always look forward to that every night, especially on the day evening like this. I'm really spoiled after having a beautiful sunny winter down south, and I just moved right into a beautiful sunny spring and summer here in the Pacific Northwest. So, it's going to be weird come this fall and winter. It will be what? 2 years since my last winter of coldness, or I don't know. I have to do the arithmetic on that. I'm not too good, but it does seem like an eternity since I've been seeing any snowflakes in the sky, and not that I missed them, because because I know I'm going to miss my sunny mornings with my cup of coffee on the patio in the palm trees. That just I always have to pinch myself every morning and thank God that that I survived my operation and I survived to enjoy such a beautiful recovery and such a nice winter climate. But I don't live there. I don't live in Phoenix. I live in Kent, Washington, and we
all 4 seasons. Phoenix has 2 seasons, hot or cold, and that's it. Actually, it's more like hot or warm. No, there's no cold. I should have said that. Maybe if it... The Phoenix is, 60 degrees. 65 degrees, people are wearing, down vests and heavy jackets in Phoenix. It's pretty weird to see that. They can't handle it. They cannot handle 65. But anyway, and not that I can, not that I'm any better, but anyway, gosh, I don't know what else to cover with you guys, other than I'm just on the road to recovery, and I'm going to have to send my prayers and good wishes towards Dawn. I want Dawn to get back on the saddle kind of like me, and I know what it's like to take that ride to the hospital in the back of the ambulance, and it's not very much fun at all. It's not as comfortable as it might look from the outside. It's very uncomfortable on the inside, that's for sure. And then once you're in the hospital, it doesn't get any better. You talk about boring. I mean, it's always hurry up and wait. You're always waiting for something, and as you're waiting, you're just getting sicker. You feel like you're getting sicker and sicker, or maybe just the boredom of being in the hospital makes you sick. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a time-consuming process to get your health back. I'm just totally befuddled by how long it takes to recover, but I'm determined to recover back to where I was. I'm determined to start doing push-ups and burpees and all those good things that I used to always do. And likewise, good wishes for Dawn as well. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, got a good signal on 2 meters, coming in very well. Full quieting on the repeater. Well, let's go visit Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Dick, I lost your audio on the television repeater. It was still there, but it was severely attenuated for some reason, but I was able to hear you just fine on 2 meters. I don't know what happened there. It started off okay, but before your transmission ended, it trailed off. But then, Dave, I heard you just fine on the television repeater, so I don't know what to make of that. Jim, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, that's a good guess. It seems like my signal strength on the 08 machine is more variable tonight. Usually it's kind of like between about an S7 and an S9, and today it's varying between 0 and 7, and it's mostly right around 4 or 5, but it's there. And Carlos, I was hearing you both on 2 meters and on the television repeater just fine. Good to see you. Looks like you have a generous amount of bits for your machine there. That's good. Dave,
Yeah, sounds like Don's having some more problems. Sorry about that. Like he's doing a little bit better now, at least moving around with a walker. But that's not encouraging. It's got to be getting old for him too. So we'll say some prayers for him and hope that he improves quickly. Bob, yeah, I heard you on both the ATV repeater and on 2 meters. Listening to what you said, it sounds like you are not hearing the 08 machine in an optimal fashion either. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see what happens next weekend or so. Dick, I think of you whenever I see the Phoenix weather on the map on a television stations. Because one day I was looking at that and Phoenix was like 113 degrees, and I'm going, wow, I'll bet Dick is glad he's here now. But yeah,
Hot or warm. Somehow it's not quite natural driving down the streets where there are Christmas decorations and you're in just a t-shirt. It just feels a little bit unnatural. It takes some getting used to. When I was there, you definitely don't need a winter coat. Definitely don't need a parka during the winter time. Maybe a heavy sweater or something like that. But I kind of appreciated that about Phoenix. Now, my wife would not. She hated hot weather. We lived in a hot environment for 20 years, and she hated every minute of it. But both of us seem to be reasonably well adapted to the climate here in Seattle. So that's the way it is. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Let's go to James in Northeast Bellevue, WU7N.
Hey, this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Well, for the 2-meter signals I'm hearing on the repeater tonight, Richard and Jim have very strong signals. Everyone else is certainly very readable, but lower audio volume. So, Carlos, I could not hear you on my machine, but please don't take that data point as definitive. I'm on an ancient Windows 7 machine, and I think it's running Chrome. So, but I did do some other tests, and other audio's coming through. So, other people seem to also not hear you on the QSL.net streaming. So, for whatever that's worth. Thank you very much for the text. I appreciate that. You know, if I'm gone for several weeks and don't tell anybody, you might want to come look for the body, I suppose. But thank you very much. That's very nice. Don, best wishes for, or Dave, rather, best wishes for your brother Don. I hope he heals up soon. And Richard, you're very inspiring to me. I'm pretty good about getting a walk every day, but I haven't been as good as I should be on doing other exercise. So I'm going to be tracking your progress because you are an amazing man. And if you can do it, then I should be able to do it too. I laughed too about your comments about the 2 seasons of Phoenix, Arizona, hot and warm. That came up in a discussion after I came back from Tri-Cities last weekend. I had a conversation with someone who had lived there 3 years, and she was saying how that you were really spoiled with this marine climate here, that it's just so stable. I mean, it does get, you know, we have our cold snaps in the winter, and we have our hot snaps in the summer. Certainly, was it a few summers ago, we had the 106-degree Fahrenheit free air temperature. That was, you know, a regional event. But usually, it usually doesn't get terribly cold here. It usually doesn't get terribly hot, and the seasons sort of melt together. This person who lived in the Tri-Cities over in eastern Washington was saying you have 4 distinct seasons, and it's like throwing a 4-position switch. And you definitely get those 4 seasons. I do remember that when I was in Virginia, the leaves turning in particular, things like that. But apparently when you go inside the area of the United States where you don't have that big marine buffer, it's really dramatic. Anyway, I certainly appreciate everyone's participation tonight. It's interesting just to look at the frequency spectrum on the receiver up on the hill tonight. I don't know if anyone else has been doing that, but I almost wonder if there was some kind of a satellite or something, or some other, right now there's some signals on there too. But anyway, anyone else that looks at that, you know, if you have comments on that, I'm interested. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Anybody out there listening, this net meets 8 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays and 8 p.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. We welcome all visitors. Dave, go ahead. You're our net control. Take it away.
U7N, thanks for that comment. Yeah, let's move on to Carlos, 87 NP in Clyde Hill.
87 NP, thanks. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City.
Many thanks to you.
Many thanks to you that have
Mentioned Don, and I will forward those thoughts over to Don the next time I communicate with him. Thank you for your support, kind words towards him. And for Richard, getting outside to see the race again, boy, that must be exciting. At least you got away from the chair, you got away from everything, a little outside. Smell the rubber burning on the track, so to speak. So anyway, get the vibes running good. So that's great to be able to do that. And I see my image is back up again. So I've been very intermittent, coming and going, transmitting this evening. I don't know exactly what's happening, what's going on with that, but at least I have had a couple of images come up. So that's about what I've got to say here from Lake City. And we got time to go up to visit Ron, KD7QK. KD7QKU is here. I switched to channel 62, and I can't seem to get a picture in either. I think maybe Carlos said he had gone back to 20. I didn't do that. I'm going to shut it down. Well, when Richard was talking about looking at Mount Rainier and seeing the pink and kind of the rosy red color up there, kind of triggered my memory. We were climbing on Mount Rainier many years ago with the bosses. It was in July, and I think it's called St. Andrew's Rock, but I can't remember. We were on the west side, and we were going to go up an area called the Pickle. Anyway, we camped for the night, and you could look and see, Tacoma, and you could see Puget Sound and everything. We were on the glacier, and there was crevasses in the glacier. In fact, there was a crevasse about 5 feet away from where we tried to pitch the camp. So we had taken our ice axes and tried to make it a little bit flat. So, as it turns out, nylon and Gore-Tex and none of that stuff, it all slides around, on the ice and the frozen snow and stuff. So we had our ice axes stuck in the ice as deep as we could get them on the downhill side, on the crevasse side, and we were laying in our tent hoping that it wouldn't slide into the crevasse. There were like earthquakes up there. The glacier would actually shake, and then there would be ice falls. It would sound like they sounded really big. I didn't see too many of them, but they really echoed where we were at. And it turned pink and kind of rosy up there all around us on the snow and ice as the sun set. And we're sitting there either in the tent or in front of the tent, looking down at Seattle, Tacoma. It was really beautiful. So anyway, that was my comments for this round. So let me greet everybody, and we'll see you, I guess, on Wednesday. KD7QKU.
87QK.
And we got time for a final with Bob, K9PQ.
Well, I was just chatting on Discord with Carlos about all the different stuff going on. It's a little odd, as I was mentioning. Ron has a really, really good, solid picture coming in on both channels, but the first one is the one I'm thinking of, where that's the one, Dave, you've got through, even though with your setup, we have to fix your antenna and everything. With your setup, you have a very weak signal, but occasionally you're getting a picture through. And Ron, with a very solid signal, was not getting through. So that's a curious one for me. Yeah, I don't don't have a whole lot more to comment on that I can think of. Just really, really happy, Richard, that you're getting out there, and I second what James said. I really need to take what you're doing as an inspiration for me to get out and move more, because I'm able to. I'm just not doing it, and that's my problem. So okay. On that merry note, I will send it back. 73, everybody. K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. And it's come time that we got to button up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, transmitting in digital amateur television format DVB-T from Seattle, Washington. We'd like to thank SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7 STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our audio transmissions, as well as utilizing audio on the digital amateur television channel this evening. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.